What's going on, you guys? It's Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist here, back with another video. Going to give you today's updates in the world of sports, starting with the NBA with the breaking news that I got this morning. I haven't had a chance to do it right afterwards it happened, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Is that the Los Angeles Clippers have decided to promote assistant coach Tyronn Lue as their new head coach. You know, this is like the second time that Tyronn Lue's been put in this scenario, because a couple years ago, he was an assistant coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers under David Blatt when they had LeBron, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. And they were the number one team in the Eastern Conference, but they got blown out in a regular season game at the hands of the Golden State Warriors, who were the defending champions at the time. Prompted David Blatt to be fired because of his lack of leadership and his refusal and scaredness to challenge LeBron James as a coach. Prompted his firing, and then promoted Tyronn Lue to be the head coach. And the next thing you know, later on that season, he will coach the Cavaliers to the 2016 NBA championship. So this is like the second time that he's been put in this predicament. And who knows, we might see the same thing here with the Clippers as he did with Cleveland, you know. But, time will tell. So, yeah, he's been announced as the new head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers. And another big surprise signing is that current ESPN analyst and former NBA All-Star Chauncey Billups will be his assistant coach. Yeah, so Chauncey Billups will take on from the role of being an analyst to an assistant coach in Tyronn Lue's staff. As we all remember, Chauncey Billups, he was a five-time All-Star, two-time member of All-Defensive Second Team, one-time All-NBA Third Team, and, of course, was an NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons in 2004, where he and the Pistons, that also had Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and a very young Tayshaun Prince, would lead a shocking upset over the super team Los Angeles Lakers that had Kobe and Shaq, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton in the 2004 NBA Finals, where the Pistons would beat the Lakers in 5 games to win it all. And Chauncey was the Finals MVP for that series. So, for not only for his great offensive skill, but his specialty on defense. That's how you define two-way basketball. So, I think my take on the hiring is that it's not like a surprise, because we've seen like former players turn analysts and then turn to coaches or GMs or something like that, have a little to no experience in terms of coaching roles or front office roles. And at certain points we've seen it pan out well, and certain points we see it don't. You know? So only time will tell to see exactly where this goes. But to me, I think it's a good hiring because, you got two players who basically emphasize their own style of basketball play. And Lue, who had already experienced, like I said, NBA champion with the Cavs at one point as a head coach. And knows his X's and O's, how to put game plans together, and hopefully get the best of untapped potentials out of each of his players. And, of course, Chauncey Billups, hopefully he can implement a style as a member of Lue's staff where they can define two-way basketball as a result. Hopefully improve the supporting cast around both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And as we all know, there's going to be dire straits for the Clippers going forward if something doesn't happen next season. Because after next season, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard all have player options that they can probably decline after next season and test the free agent market. And say if they don't come back to the Clippers, then you're going to be in dire straits because the Clippers don't have a first-round pick beyond this season and next season. They don't have a first-round pick till 20, 25, 26? Now, almost like the same year as the Houston Rockets in the situation when they gave up a whole shitload of draft picks and Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook from the Oklahoma City Thunder. But that's a story for another time. I'll talk about that at some point. But yeah, if you're the Clippers, you're in dire straits. That's all we all know it. And if you don't at least make the Western Conference Finals by next season, then the future's not going to look good for you. I can guarantee you that much. But anyways, so Lue is going to be the new head coach, and this move came like a couple weeks after the Clippers had fired Doc Rivers after the Clippers blew a 3-1 series lead in the second round of this past year's playoffs against the Denver Nuggets and lost in the decisive Game 7 in embarrassing fashion. And, of course, Rivers will go on to be the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, as we all know it. So, yeah, I think it's a good move, but we'll see exactly how this will pan out because it may not go out as we expected, but then again, it might. Who knows? So yeah. Anyway, I mentioned the Houston Rockets just a moment ago. I also got some news earlier this morning that general manager Daryl Morey has decided to step down his role as a GM, but he's going to stay in the organization in a much more of an advisory role. You know, this is the same guy that's been with the Houston Rockets front office staff since 2006 when he was the assistant general manager, and then got promoted to general manager afterwards, and then promoted to vice president or president of basketball operations at that. And he is like the guy that put together deals that brought in the likes of Tracy McGrady to pair with Yao Ming, and also pull off arguably one of the greatest lopsided and trade steals in NBA history when he just sent like pennies on a dollar and a couple of draft picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder for the man that we all known as the Beard, James Harden. You know, after the Thunder lost in the 2012 NBA Finals to the Big Three Miami Heat, Morey managed to pull off a steal and make a trade with the Thunder to get James Harden to Houston. And look what happened now. James Harden is one of the top 5 players in the NBA right now. Top 5, top 10, as we all know it. Yeah. So with that being said, Morey has decided to step down. And throughout his time, especially with since he made the James Harden trade, he pulled off some great deals to help him get the best supporting cast as possible for him, but just wasn't able to take that next step, at least get the Rockets to the NBA Finals. But so far, like during his tenure, he was able to get the Rockets to the Western Conference Finals, you know, for the first time in a long time, when he had both James Harden and Chris Paul in the same roster. That was like back in the 17-18 season when the Rockets won 65 games and it was like a Game 7 win away from the NBA Finals. Had it not been for Chris Paul's injury on his hamstring, and had it not been for an abysmal performance from James Harden in that game, it would have been something. But do I take this as a surprise? Kind of, in a way, because a month back saying that before the playoffs started or around playoff time is when he said that if he doesn't help James Harden get the best supporting cast possible, and if he doesn't equate to an NBA championship, he may not see himself in Houston very long. Well, he decided to step down as GM, but he's still going to stay in the organization. But this time, damn truck, but this time he'll take on an advisory role. So it's kind of a surprise, but it's just something that we might expect to happen at some point, you know, especially at this time. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got Russell Westbrook and James Harden to think about, and you still need to look for a head coach as well, you know. And I don't know I forgot whose name is in the running for the Houston Rockets head coaching job. I have to look that up. But this guy who's a brother is a strong candidate for the head coaching position. So I'll tune you into more on that if there's like some sort of hiring that's going to come up within the next week or so. So make sure to tune into that. And, of course, for the Los Angeles Lakers, the now reigning NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis is supposed to be declining his $28.7 million player option to see if he can work out a Supermax contract extension to stay here in Los Angeles with the Lakers, you know? Because he gave us a hint on Instagram Live on saying that he might stay in LA and try to run him back, see if he can help LA go back-to-back. Because they haven't went back-to-back since Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol in 09 and 10. You know? So if Anthony Davis does decide to stay in LA, it would be like a huge boost for the team that's looking to run it back by next season. Because you have a 35-year-old LeBron James at the helm, and he can only do so much, especially at his day and age. Especially coming off of his 4th NBA title, his 4th NBA Finals MVP. You want to look to the future, and you want to improve in longevity, you know? So, with Anthony Davis, if he stays in LA, that's going to improve the future as a result. And hopefully you can build around him if LeBron James decides to hang up his basketball shoes. But, I mean, he did mention he has a good, 4 or 5 years left in him. But who knows? Probably pull off a Tom Brady. But, yeah, it's like whatever. But Anthony Davis, for me personally, I really hope he stays in LA. based on the job that he's done since he came about, proves to us exactly why he's a top 5 player in the NBA. Now, is he better than Giannis Antetokounmpo as the best big man in the league right now? Not really. I mean, Giannis has already won back-to-back league MVPs, and he's also just won Defensive Player of the Year under his belt. So, if let's say if Anthony Davis managed to win one of those two awards next season, and possibly face up and beat Giannis in next year's NBA Finals, then yeah, then I'll probably say that Anthony Davis is better than Giannis. But right now, only time will tell. And for now, Giannis is like the best big man in the league, and Anthony Davis is just right behind him. So if Giannis is 1A, then AD is 1B. So, yeah, so Anthony Davis is clearly right behind Giannis. He just ain't the best big man in the league yet, but he will be if he helps the Lakers win another championship or anywhere else he goes, and probably beat Giannis in the playoffs, and probably win Defensive Player of the Year and League MVP awards, then yeah, we'll give all that to him. But right now, it's still Giannis. Yeah, so that's my take on those. And in the NFL, I apologize for not breaking down the score for Tuesday night's football game between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. I should have done it yesterday. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. But I'll give you a quick rundown. As the Titans surprisingly blew out the Bills 42-16, in which the defense was all over Josh Allen, that pass-heavy offense, especially getting 2 interceptions, both of them from Malcolm Butler. One in which he returned for a touchdown, kind of little shades of the old Malcolm Butler from when he was with the New England Patriots, as we all know it. So it was a big win for Tennessee after missing out all of the previous week due to COVID-19 and not playing in 2 weeks. And for them to get back on track is really big for them. So yeah. Anyways, in other NFL news, speaking of the COVID, both Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore of the New England Patriots are supposed to be rejoining the team today or, sometime this week before their Sunday morning matchup against the Denver Broncos, which was supposed to happen last week, but then both players got plagued by COVID, and they had to reschedule that because of New England's concerns with COVID-19 after two of their star players, 4 total, had got COVID-19. So they should be on track to resume practice in New England for this week, as we all know it. And hopefully the matchup against the Broncos will continue as planned Sunday morning. So, yeah. And Le'Veon Bell, who's a free agent, says he has his interests down to the Buffalo Bills, who got their asses kicked to them, as I just mentioned. The Miami Dolphins, who beat the crap out of the 49ers last week, out of all people. And the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Now, for me personally, I'm not really convinced on Miami, but it could happen. But Buffalo is a good fit. I mean, they do need a solid running back to complete their offensive scheme. But Kansas City is going to be another really good option because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, after a strong season opener, has not been himself in the last several weeks since then. So if Le'Veon does join Kansas City and recoup what part of All-Star, All-Pro form, or rather Pro Bowl, All-Pro form that he had when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 5 years, then Kansas City will arguably have one of the greatest offenses in NFL history. I mean, you already have a superstar quarterback who just came off of winning Super Bowl MVP honors, already league MVP at just a very young age and just his 3rd season. And you have great dynamite weapons in tight end Travis Kelce, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, and a couple good wideouts in Sammy Watkins and Travis Hartman and whatnot. Not Travis Hartman. Was it Justin Hartman or Blake Hartman? I don't know. But yeah, you got really good offensive weapons around, and if Le'Veon completes that, then it's going to be a really dangerous Super Bowl contending team. Go run it back probably this season. So, but only time will tell to see exactly where he goes. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And with that being said, that's about all the news that I have for today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to hit that bell icon button where you get my daily notification updates of my videos. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Oh, I almost forgot. Before I wrap this up, I clearly forgot. In little MLB postseason action, the Los Angeles Dodgers, in historic fashion, blew out the Atlanta Braves 15-3 to get back into the series to make a 2-1 series deficit. And Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers will be on the mound for tonight's Game 4 matchup against Ryan White of the Atlanta Braves. As the Dodgers with Kershaw back in action will hope to even the series at 2 apiece tonight, as we all know it, and hopefully repeat that same success that they had last night. And of course, the Houston Astros managed to escape elimination with a 4-3 win over the Tampa Bay Rays to avoid a sweep. And right now, Game 5 of the ALCS between the Rays and Astros is on right now. And the last time I checked, the Astros were leading 1-0 on a solo home run in the first inning by George Springer. Arguably one of the best postseason performers ever, in my view, even though, and whatnot. So that's going on right now. It's on TBS. Make sure you check that out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, now that's officially all I have for today's updates in the world of sports. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell button where you can get my daily notification updates of my videos in the upcoming future. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and let me know about all the news that's been going on around the world of sports, and what do you think of tonight's MLB games in the postseason? Like, who do you think will win the World Series? Who do you think will be represent each league in the World Series, and who do you think has a shot? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that being said, I'm Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, and I'm out. Peace.